Hey guys, it's Joe, and in this video I'll be showing you how to mix house using Logic. This is an old track of mine that I finished a couple of years ago, and I've just gone in and reset most of the levels and taken most of the settings off the tracks so I can go in, apply them again and show you how they work and show you how to make sounds work together. I'll be doing several videos on this track, and in this one I'll be mainly focusing on basses and synths, so we'll just start out by playing these 4 bars of the beat that lead into the bass, and then we'll mix these here. So I've layered 2 basses together here, 1 lead and 1 sub, so this is how the lead sounds on its own. So it doesn't really have a lot of weight to it, hence why I added the sub. So we're just going to apply some EQ to the lead, and I've got 2 separate EQs set up, one for cuts and one for boosts. So in this one we're just going to take out all the low and high end that isn't really used, just so it's not wasted energy. So from about 74 Hz and below, and now take out some high end. Don't want to take out too much though. So about there will do. It may not seem like it's made that much of a change, but if you do this on every track and you've got 30 or 40 tracks, it really makes a difference. So I've just left the sub as it is. This is quite basic. It's taken out all the frequencies that it isn't using, which is quite a lot. Now I'm just going to add some boosts to the lead as well. So I've already got a couple input here. I don't really want too much on the low end, as this isn't where most of the bass is coming from for this one, hence the sub. I'm going to try and find a nice frequency of it to boost, just to give it a bit more character. Yeah, it makes it sound a bit more whole. So they sound quite nice and thick together now. So just carry on playing the track. We've got a few more bits coming in here, so. Okay, so we've got these 2 here. Let's just see how they sound on their own. Okay, let's just add some punch to some of the more important notes in it. So we'll drop that down a little bit though, because it's standing out a bit too much. That's cool. Again, we'll just EQ this. So take out all the stuff it's not using. That sounds about right. It's got quite a nice low end to it, so just going to add a little boost around here, I reckon. Make it a bit broader. Cool. Now let's see what this one sounds like. Okay, so this is the lead sub, so we want to drop this right down, as this is just for some nice low end energy. Now on both of these, I've also applied a directional mixer, so completely central, as that's where you want a lot of your energy to be in your mix. So as you can hear, it's still got quite a lot of low end rumble, so we're just going to drop down to the subs a little bit. I think this one's too loud. That sounded a bit more even now. So just carry on playing. So we've got some chords and pads coming in now as well as our main sub. So just focus on that for now. Just see how that sounds, make sure it's not too loud. Ooh. Yes, as we've got 3 subs here, we want to make sure that they're not too overwhelming, so we need to make them work together and just make them all stand out but without overpowering one another or anything else in the mix, and just have some nice low end energy. Just going to mute the vocals so we can focus on the instrumentals for now. That's a bit better. So now I'll just go and have a look at this piano and listen to these chords. Okay, so this has got a bit of reverb on here for no other reason, and it just sounds quite nice. Just a creative use of it. So we'll just go and EQ this and do our usual, taking out all the low end. That should be about here, and a little bit of high end. Okay. Now we'll play these chords, and we want to just adjust the levels of these so they're not completely overwhelming. Okay, so by the look of it, we've got one low end and one high end set of chords, or certainly one playing an octave higher than the other. So let's just focus on these ones for now. And we'll add our EQ, and take out some low end. Definitely want to take out a lot of low end in the synth, as that's not what it's there for. That's why we've got so many basses. And we'll just take out a little bit of high. Now I'll add another EQ, just for some boosts. So I want some high mids. I want these to stand out a bit more, make them sound nice and bright. More precise point, so it sounds a bit more warm. Sound a bit better together now. These ones are a bit overwhelming over the top of these, so drop them down quieter. So now we'll add our EQ again. I'm going to take a lot of low end out of this. These are our ones that are octave higher. Yeah, there we go. Again, another one. So this is for boost, sorry. Habit. They sound nice and bright. In fact, there's one over here, and I might even just put it in a high shelf. To add some brightness. Yeah, it sets out a little more now. Perfect. Sounds better like that with this one over the top. Okay, so as we've EQ'd and sorted out everything in this section, we're just going to go in and add some compression now. So on our lead bass, solo this. There we go. So now for basses, I tend to just stick with a 4:1 ratio, as it's quite a good setting to stick to, and then adjust if appropriate. So make it sound nice and big. I'll drop the threshold down a bit more. give it lots of punch. So it really has an impact now. Just turn that up as well, make it stand out a bit more over the synth. So now we're just going to add another compressor to this one. So similar kind of deal, 4:1 ratio. Give it some makeup gain, drop the threshold down a little bit. And as we've turned the makeup gain up quite a bit, we just need to compensate by dropping the fader down. So everything's starting to sound quite decent together, you can hear everything quite clearly. So we can start just moving on and doing these basses. I'm just going to mute these vocals as well. Cool, so we've got a new bass here, our percussive one. So, add our cuts, take out quite a bit of low end, not too much, as we've lost 2 subs here, so we'll probably add a little low end shelf to it. As I said, we've lost 2 subs, so we want to compensate for that a bit. Another boost to the low mids. Nice. Then we'll add a compressor again. Drop that down a bit so it doesn't peak. And make sure nothing's getting in the orange zones here. And definitely avoiding red. There we go. So we've got another pad here. So let's go and have a look at that. So just taking out all the frequencies we're not using and having quite a clear tone to it. As this is a very bassy track, I've got quite a lot of pads and chords, just filling out some of the high end to make it more of a balanced overall frequency. Okay, just some chord steps, that's fine. Now we've got another pluck over here. So there's no bass to this really, so I'll just take out a lot of the low end. Don't really want any of that. So from about there, take out a little bit of high. Now the reason I've been taking out high on every track is just because most speakers and headphones can't actually replicate that frequency very well, so it's just going to be wasted energy, so it's better to just get rid of at least a little bit so nothing really peaks and you have no wasted energy going on in your mix. Of course if you have great speakers that's fine, but not everyone does, especially if you're making music. You want to make sure it can be played on any kind of speakers and it sounds good. Okay. Didn't add a boost, did I? Okay. So yeah, we want to boost some highs here, but make sure it's a little bit lower than what we had on our pads. and chords, so we're going to have a little bit lower. The other ones for about 2.5, 3k. So make these cut through about 1k. A bit broader, make it sound a bit brighter. Might even put a high shelf on it as well. There we go. Okay, I've also got this transition here, which won't actually apply any effects to, but just want to make sure it's at the appropriate level for the mix. I think it was a bit loud. Okay, so if I remember correctly, that's just a crash sample I put in and applied a hell of a lot of reverb to it, yeah. Okay, so I'll just drop it down a little bit. That's a bit better. I've also put a little fade in there just so it doesn't die out so suddenly. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so everything's actually cutting through quite nicely. Not too much needs to be done with this now, with these basses, just because all the EQ and compression we've applied, everything's kind of in the right place. The thing to remember is when you're applying your EQs, oh, not this one, certainly with your boosts, is you don't want them all to be in the same place. Otherwise everything's just going to cut through in the same place and it's going to sound really muddy. So these are relatively similar, but not the same. So we've got 122 over here and 102 and 140, so it sits just in the middle of them, so it can cut through on its own without adding any muddiness, or certainly keeping it to a minimum. Okay, so we've got another pluck here, see what it sounds like. It's got a nice long attack on it. So, first things first. Just not too much bass in this, so I'll take this up quite high. That'll do. A little bit of high again. So we want this, we can have this sitting in a similar place because we've got our first plucky saw and our second plucky saw, and they're both relatively similar. In fact, I think they might even just be the same, but this one with a longer attack. So I can have them sitting in the same place, as they won't be playing at the same time. So the other one was at 1k, so I'll make this one the same. Yeah, so it just makes it sound that little bit brighter. That's a bit extreme. There we go. These chords are cutting through a little bit too much now, so I'll just drop them down. Yeah, it's this one. It's not too bad. Okay, so we got some new hi-hats coming here to layer up with our other ones, so I just want to make sure that they aren't too loud either. So very noticeable here, drop them down a little bit. Okay, so we also had a new bass here as well. Very similar, but so obviously want to do the same. It's got a bit of distortion on it. Just the difference. There you go, so it's still keeping quite a lot of its low end energy. Another boosts. Okay. So before we've had 100, 120, 140, so I'm going to put this one probably around the 200 mark. I'm going to make a precise boost and then see what frequency we like and what frequency we don't. Oh, we don't like that one, so below there. Okay, so it's got quite a lot of character around here, so just put a more precise boost than that, and maybe another one near it. Something like that. Yeah, just breaks it out a little bit more. I've also got another piano. Just realised these are different. Let's just see the difference between these two. Okay, so it's just a longer attack. Okay, so it looks like we've got two more main synths to play with, which is the bridges. Let's have a listen to these. Let's just... Okay, so these are super gritty. Let's have a listen to them solo. Okay, so here I've got one as the high end bass and then one as the sub. So I've taken out all the frequencies below what this one is using. So I'll just pop these up so you can see them better. So here's the lead sound, which is this one. So it's not using anything below 166, whereas this one is using those frequencies that this one's lacking. That's fine as it is. We'll just add some compression to the lead. Just drop that down. Makes it have so much more punch instantly. This sub is way too loud though, so drop that down. I've gone through and shown you how I kind of edit all my basses and synths, just certainly to start with just some basic EQ and compression, make them all stand out and have their own kind of individual sound and work well with one another, making sure you're not boosting the exact same frequencies on each, otherwise it's just going to sound really muddy, and making sure your compression is making them all stand out nicely. I'll do a follow-up video on this in a couple of weeks, going into the drums and then applying reverbs and some more compression and then some other effects just to make things sound more interesting. I hope you found this video useful, guys, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact me via my website. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.